Hello there, Tom here from the Run Testers with another running shoe first run review. In this video, myself and Nick are going to be delving into the new Saucony Endorphin Edge trail shoe. Let's take a look. The Saucony Endorphin Edge costs £200 or $230, weighs in at 265 grams or 9.3 ounces for men in the size 8, and the drop is 6mm. The Saucony Endorphin Edge is a trail running shoe designed for speed, combining a PWRRUNPB foam midsole with a Carbitex AFX 3/4 carbon fibre plate. The focus here is efficiency over trail miles, balancing a lightweight feel with propulsive ride that doesn't sacrifice stability. The mesh upper is built to optimise sweat absorption from the foot and improved evaporation to keep you cool and dry on hot days. There's also a PWRTRAC outsole to protect the feet and the midsole foam across varied terrain and offer a good level of traction and grip.
When it comes to the fit of the shoe, it's quite a roomy one for me, especially in the toe box. I've got a lot of space up in front of the toes there. It's happened quite often in trail shoes, like where they do want to give you that room for your feet to expand over long spells on the trails, especially when you're going downhill. I don't want to ram into the front of it, but it's probably a bit too much room for what I need. I have been able to get a good fit around the midfoot and heel by heel locking them and really pulling the laces quite tight, so get a little bit of pressure on the top of my foot from the laces. So it is quite a roomy shoe, I'd say. There's potential there to go half a size down, but it was okay today in my normal size, just with a big old roomy toe box.
The fit for me in the Endorphin Edge, I would say true to size, but like Nick says, there is a lot of space up at the front of the shoe, so it can feel a little bit baggy when you first start wearing it. What I would say is that I went out for my first run and there were a lot of declines in that run, and I was actually quite pleased there was a lot of extra space in that shoe. Some of the trail shoes that I test out, my feet do get bunched up at the front of the shoe, but there's probably a little bit more than you'd expect from a trail shoe in this Endorphin Edge. So you might want to size down half a size maybe, just to get a more comfortable fit. But I'd probably stick true to size.
So about to head out and do my first run in the Saucony Endorphin Edge. I'm looking forward to this. I've been running a lot in the Endorphin Pro 3 and Speed 3 recently and loving pretty much every step in them. So excited to see how it feels on the trails with a similar shoe. I'm heading out to my local forest today for an hour. Pretty casual, relaxed run. Probably just be running on feel and enjoying some ups and downs on some hills in the sun. So yeah, looking forward to getting out in them. So I'm half an hour in to the first run in the Saucony Endorphin Edge. Just mooching along, it's been mostly uphill the first half, and so a nice little mix of terrain, but it's all quite hard in the summer here in the UK. Yeah, enjoy so far. It's not that soft or cushioned. Certainly doesn't feel like the new Endorphin Pro road shoe, for example, which is very cushy, probably more similar to the Speed, although that is still softer. The grip's been great. I mean, haven't anything too challenging so far, but no slippage at all on loose gravel or anything like that. It feels quite a firm and broad flat base with the plate, so on rutted ground it was a little bit kind of, whole shoe would bend to one side if you landed at the wrong angle on a rut, that kind of thing, which you don't get so much on the Hoka Tecton X, which has its two plates, a bit more flexible. But yeah, so far so good. I'm going to lots more downhill now, so I might try and up the pace a little bit, see how it feels at pace speed, but at the moment it's been okay. Nothing's hugely standing out so far. So just back from the run now, did kind of 13.75k over the course of the hour. It was a nice run today in the shoe. I think it didn't really knock my socks off or anything today. It's pretty comfortable, but it's got quite a firm feel to it, which is what you want on the trails. Like if you're racing, you don't want anything that's kind of too squishy or anything, but it didn't feel like either kind of as smooth as the Endorphin Speed 3 or kind of as bouncy as the Endorphin Pro. Obviously it's a different shoe, it's built for the trails, but the outsole was good, gripped well today, nice range of kind of conditions, all like I say, dry and warm. But yeah, I was impressed on that front. And then when I got rolling a bit in the second half, it felt okay, the shoe, but I think yeah, it didn't, like I say, it didn't knock my socks off. Today I'm on tired legs after back-to-back workout day, so we'll try something a bit pacier in it when I'm a bit fresher, if I'm ever fresh during marathon training. But yeah, it was okay today, but nothing too amazing so far.
So the first run that I did in the Endorphin Edge was a 5 miler in the South Downs, so a lot of fields, a lot of rocky trails, a lot of inclines, and some pretty tricky declines as well. And I really enjoyed it. I actually like this shoe quite a lot from the first putting it on. I think it's quite good. It's quite a balanced option for a shoe. The combination of the plate and that midsole foam, I think, offers quite a nice responsive ride. It's not very soft. The plate really isn't that noticeable. It's not like you're running in a road carbon plate shoe where you can really feel that toe off. But it does help. It feels quite stiff and sturdy when you're running on it, and I did feel like I could run quite fast in this shoe on the trails. Felt quite stable as well. I think you get that from the firmness of the midsole foam twinned with that plate that runs through it. So for faster running, I think this is a really good option for hitting the trails, and I'd probably say that this is specifically designed for those sort of longer distance runs where you want a nice bit of efficiency, you want your feet to be firmly in place, but you want a good level of cushioning that's not too soft on the trail, so that you can just maintain speed without having any issues along the way. I'd say that it's a shoe that is really focused on longer distance efforts. I don't think there's any real benefits in the short distance world for this shoe. I don't think it's like a really fast 5k trail shoe or anything like that. It's moderately light in comparison to some trail shoes out there, but it's by no means a really light shoe. So it's probably not a shoe designed for fast running over short distances. But over longer distances, I think that's where the shoe will really come in to play, because I think there's a lot of efficiency gains from the combination of that plate with the midsole foam. And it just feels like there's a nice turnover, quite a subtle turnover. It's not like it's propelling you forward all the time, but it's definitely a shoe that is built for efficiency over longer distances. So I'm looking forward to trying this out over some significantly longer trail runs. That balanced firmness also probably means that it's a bit more versatile for lots of types of running. Some trail shoes that have softer midsole foams aren't particularly good when you're running on softer ground. You don't really get the benefits from it. And then again, some harder ones, I'm not a big fan of wearing harder ones when I'm doing this harder, more compacted trails where I want something that's got a little bit more give in it and a little bit more cushioning for comfort. So I think this sits in the sort of mid realm between those two things. I think it's a good versatile option, and I definitely found it very comfortable over the course of that 5 mile run. Didn't have any issues at all, and also didn't feel sluggish either. It didn't feel like I was wearing a heavy shoe on my feet. It just felt quite well balanced, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it was very comfortable. I'd also say that the outsole grip was very good on the inclines and declines that I was running on. They're not massive lugs. It's not really designed for like heavy mud, wet mud. But it was very good on the dry surfaces that I was running on over the course of that run.
So yeah, early impressions on the Saucony Endorphin Edge are kind of okay, nothing too amazing yet. I think I do prefer it to the Endorphin Trail shoe that was released last year, just because that was so heavy, that shoe, and you really had to be in the very specific circumstances to get a nice roll from it. But generally it didn't feel nimble, or that good on the trails, and it still feels like a bit too much shoe for me for trail racing. Like, just feel like unless you're going obviously ultra distances, it's nice to have something a bit more stripped back. Hey, I'll test things out with longer stuff. Obviously I just did that hour today. I'll try and get out for a long run in it and see if that, the extra cushioning and weight there really comes into play as a benefit. And I'll try and get some faster stuff going in it, but at the moment it doesn't feel quite as nimble and speedy as the Hoka Tecton X did during my early testing of that. But a lot more to come in the Endorphin Edge, and I'll try and get out some fast stuff in it soon.
So my verdict so far on the Saucony Endorphin Edge, I think it's pretty good. I think it's a well-balanced shoe. I think it's a nice option if you're looking for a trail shoe for lots of different types of training. Maybe if you're veering more toward the longer distance stuff and you want something that's going to keep your feet nice and secure, mean that you can have a consistent pace without it feeling sluggish. And it's a nice balance between the heavier cushion shoes, where you're going to probably find them quite difficult to run over long distances at a good pace, but the lighter shoes as well, where you don't get a lot of protection. So it sits in the middle of those two for me, and I think it's a good option. I would say it's similar to something like the Peregrine 12, but it does feel a little bit more propulsive. Feels a little bit lighter as well, I think, especially when you're running at pace. It feels more conducive to running at a pace, I think, this shoe. But I would say that the Hoka Tecton X as well is probably a little bit better at running at speed for me than this shoe. But I think I prefer to run in this over longer distances, just because I like that firm, sturdy feel to the shoe that you get in the Endorphin Edge. So yeah, looking forward to running in it a few more times. I'd probably say I'm not blown away by the shoe. I don't think it's the most exciting trail shoe I've ever tried. But equally, I do want to keep wearing it. I think it's going to be an exciting shoe to keep trying out because I didn't find any flaws in that run that I did. Whereas some trail shoes, I like something, I won't like something else. I thought this was a really solid, good trail shoe, which in my mind is very positive and probably suggests that I'm going to start liking it even more as I run in it more. So yeah, we'll be doing that soon. Thanks a lot for watching this first run from me and Nick. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click that little bell icon, and check the channel out for all the other videos you've got from the latest road and trail shoes, as well as running headphones and watches out at the moment. And don't forget to check out the new podcast that we've got. So we've launched a monthly podcast that comes out at the end of each month. If you go into the captions below, you can subscribe to that podcast and listen to the previous ones that we've had published so far. So and also if you like it, please leave some comments on the chosen podcast provider that you listen to. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you soon.